Hey cuties, what's going on? So today we're going to be basically doing like a comparison video. Most people already know who is like the better out of the well, they probably know who is better compared to like if you do like Coyote versus Yuta or Yuta versus Gojo, whatever. People kind of already know who is better, but we're kind of going to just do a comparison to like all three, and I'll give you guys my opinions on all three of them and what all three of them are useful for. So for example, Stark is definitely still usable and he is still very good, and he serves his purpose still. A lot of people say, oh no, Stark fell off, Stark is mid. Stark definitely still has his uses, and I'm going to tell you why once we get into the game. Like, we're going to explain everything in the game, and this might be I wouldn't say a pretty long video, but it's gonna be lengthy depending on how long I talk. But I do have unique on all three of them. That's not really going to change anything. The only thing that's really going to change is like you guys' stuff, because like, I don't know, nothing really matters, because either way it's still going to work the same, because all three of them you only can place three of, and like the concept is going to basically still be the same, even though I have unique on them. It's going to be basically the same as like if you had like four of them or what. I don't know. You get the gist. I hope y'all get the gist. I'm kind of just rambling on. Let's just get into the actual core of the video just for fun. I'm going to bring Erwin. I'm going to bring Sakura. I don't know if I'm going to bring Kisuke. I probably should bring Kisuke for the extra buff, whatever, but we're going to need money. But do we actually need money? Because they're all unique, but Yuta's going to take hella long. I don't feel like taking that long. Yeah, let's just bring Bulma. We won't have Kisuke for this video, but we'll worry about him later. Alright, so one of the main reasons I'm comparing these three is because they are like very similar, for the fact that like I said, you can place only three of them, and then all three of them end with like the cock AoE, as I call it, the COC AoE, the Clash of Clans AoE boys. The cock AoE looks like a giant cock, you know? They all three of them have that sort of AoE like at their final upgrade, so that's the main reason why I want to compare these four. I know it's not really a good reasoning, but people also throw comparisons between the three of them, like especially like, oh, Yuta and Coyote, like Yuta is just a direct upgrade from Coyote, etc. Like people do throw out comparisons and stuff like that, so that's why we're just gonna bring all three of them here, and we're gonna actually I should play Coyote first, that way I can place Yuta right in the middle, just like that. That's a good tip too, by the way, boys, because like Yuta has a big ass hitbox or whatever, so you won't really be able to place anything beside him. But if you place units beside him first and then leave a spot for Yuta, then it's not going to matter. So look, if I try to place a Sakura right here, look at that fat circle that Yuta makes. But if you place the stuff first, you'll be able to place stuff right beside Yuta and save extra space. But as I was saying, yeah, people make a lot of comparisons between these two mainly, and then they try to make comparisons between these two as well, trying to see who's better. So we're just going to do like an all-around just comparison, like upgrade comparisons, damage comparisons, what they could be used for, etc., stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and farm up. We're going to farm up a lot, and then once I have like, I guess like 50k, 100k or whatever, we'll just start going through upgrade to upgrade and just talking about the units. Alright, so we're first going to start off with Coyote. So Coyote, one of the things people don't really talk about with Coyote is the accessibility for every single player, right? So yeah, these two are insane units. They're insane units, but you gotta realize they are so bad to grind for, especially Gojo with his infinite like a capability or whatever. You gotta grind all of these eyes which have such a low drop rate. You gotta do infinite after infinite after infinite constantly in order to like get him to his maximum potential. And like basically there's a maximum potential, but I don't think anybody's ever gonna reach it. I think infinite 10 is like the max, but you need like, I think like hundreds of eyes or whatever, bro. Like it is crazy. And Yuta takes about like 50 dungeons to do, and majority of players can't even do the dungeons because for one, they can't solo, two, they don't have friends, or three, they can never find people to do the dungeons with, like in lobbies or whatever, and they always fail, stuff like that. Like these two take hella long to grind for. Coyote, on the other hand, he is very good for newer players. For one, he's very easy to evolve. He's on a lower map that you can probably get to with just using legendaries, and if you get him as a first mythic, he will be able to carry that player probably until Maybe, actually no, if he has Coyote and Irwin, he could probably get to the last map, to be honest. Irwin can handle the flying units on every map just about, I'm pretty sure actually. And then Coyote would just be able to body all the ground units or whatever. So he's going to be very good for the newer players to help them catch up. That's what people don't realize. And I think he's cheaper than the rest of them. So we're going to go through the upgrades now too. So first upgrade, I'm going to write these down as well so I can write, actually no, I think Gojo's probably the cheapest, but like I said, Gojo's like the hardest to evolve. So I'm talking about like, we're talking about like how easy they are to get and whatever, you understand, right? Compared to Yuta, we're just gonna compare it to Yuta basically. So I'm gonna write all these down so I can total up the cost at the end of it, and then we can explain more from there. So first upgrade, Coyote costs 2,000. Let's write that down. Yuta costs 2,100, and Gojo also costs 2,000. I should write the damages down below too. So Coyote, I'm gonna just cut these parts off. All right, let's go to upgrade 2. Upgrade 2, Coyote is at 2,500, Yuta's at 2,800, Gojo's at 2,500. And keep in mind, your numbers will be different because you will only have 3 units if you don't have unique. I have unique on mine. So, but the cost, like I said, the cost and like the amount of damage they will do or whatever will kind of like be the same for you or whatever. Like you'll basically get the same comparisons. Like for example, right now, all the Gojos, Coyote, Yutas, they'll cost the same amount. You'll just have to do it 3 times. And then the damages will basically be like, they'll be the same in comparison. So like, right now, Coyote's doing more damage to Yuta, upgrade 2, right? So even if you have 3 Coyotes, they'll be doing more damage to Yuta, upgrade 2. That's kind of how it works. So now upgrade 3, or is this, well, yeah, upgrade 3, 3,500 for Coyote, 3,500 for Yuta, and 3,500 for Gojo. So they're all the same. All right, now this is where things are going to get a little bit different, and it's another place where Coyote shines. So Coyote's damages is going through the roof right here, right? So upgrade 4 will cost 4,500 for Coyote, upgrade 4 for Yuta will cost 4,500, and upgrade 4 for Gojo will also cost 4,500. But Gojo turns into a full AoE, but his range is very, very short. So depending on what you're doing, I'm trying to think, depending on what you're doing, like this could be good. But if we're just talking about overall usefulness for like story modes, challenges, and stuff like that, this is another place where Coyote is going to be better than the other 2. So let me go ahead and write these down real quick. So out of these 3, Yuta will probably be the better choice. Oh, actually, will he? Like Coyote's doing more damage, but Yuta has a lot lower CD, so he'll probably be doing more DPS like overall. But like I said, it's the accessibility thing. Coyote is very easy to grab. So if you don't have Yuta, you're currently grinding for Yuta or whatever, and you have Gojo or whatever already, I will still use Coyote for like story mode challenges and everything like that over Gojo for like I said, for that type of stuff, because Gojo at this certain upgrade, however, so like usually you will stop at Coyote as 4,500 upgrade, like upgrade to 4,500, and then you be at like 63, 4.9, 38, whatever. You usually stop there for story modes and stuff like that, and then you'll be good. Like you'll be good to clear every story mode, you'll be good to clear every challenge, you'll be good to clear just about everything because how good Coyote is. And then Gojo, his damage is not bad, but you got this little full AoE thing, and he attacks a lot slower than Coyote will. And like I said, it's just very hard to evo everything. So I think I basically made all of my points. Well, most of my points, but that's just like for starter stuff like that. For newer players, you want to get Coyote, right? Coyote is like one of the best units as a newer player. Once you're in game, because most of the in game players are the ones saying like Coyote is really bad and stuff like that. But once you're in game, then yeah, you could probably drop Coyote and then go for Yuta and Gojo, but it will take a lot of grind. But to work your way up, Coyote is definitely not a bad pick. He's actually one of the best picks you can get coming up as a newer player. But now let's get on to the end game stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and max out everybody. I'm gonna keep writing down all the costs and stuff like that as I upgrade. But we're gonna go to the max potential, and then I'm gonna explain who is better. Well, it's gonna be pretty obvious, but I'm still gonna talk about it anyway. Alright, now I'm going to note here, once you get to Yuta's cursed speech, if you have him evolved, then you will use him for everything. Like, you'll use him for story modes, challenges, and stuff like that. Because that's the point where Yuta is basically a direct upgrade from Coyote. That's why people say that. like if you don't have Yuta evolved, Coyote is going to be your best friend. Evolved Coyote is going to be your best friend. But as soon as you get Yuta evolved, they are correct into the fact where he would just directly replace Coyote. Cursed Speech basically goes, it's not really a line, it's like a cone AoE-ish, but it still kind of just goes straight ahead, kind of like how Coyote's does. But Yuta is doing like double the damage of Coyote basically. He's going to be doing even well more than that, because Coyote gets his next attack after that, and that's kind of where his like he falls off definitely compared to the rest, because Yuta is going to be basically doing the same amount of damage as Coyote when he's in his like final attack form or whatever, but like a lot faster. He's doing like twice the speed of Coyote. This is where Yuta gets like pretty crazy. Alright, so now we're getting to Coyote's last upgrade, but if you look here, this is where like the comparison kind of comes to. So Gojo on his like third to last upgrade or whatever, depending on how many limitless you have, he's basically doing the same exact thing as Coyote, except his COC is probably like half of Coyote's, but he's doing like half of his SPA basically. Same amount of damage, right? Same amount of damage, but he's basically doing half of his SPA with almost the same amount of range, and then the same damage. Like Gojo is basically the same exact thing, but for much cheaper. Like at this point, Coyote's already over, he's at, that's like 55. Yeah, he's already at basically like 100k you spent. Actually over 100k probably, while Gojo is probably like around 50k ish or something like that, or maybe like 70k, something like that. Like he's a lot cheaper at that point, and then doing basically doing the same thing as Coyote, but basically double his damage because he has double like double. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. Basically lower the SPA. So now that we got basically Coyote comparisons out the way, now it's going to be between Yuta and Gojo. So let me finish out the rest of these upgrades, and then we're going to talk about it then. Alright, so now we're down to the last two upgrades. So Gojo, I'm going to say here, Gojo is indeed better than Yuta, right? But it will have to depend on how many limitless you have. So for example, right now Gojo is going to be doing 206,000 damage every 5.1 seconds. Yuta, well, let's just max him out real quick. Let's max him out. Let's go have Yuta maxed out, and then we're gonna have Gojo at the max I can get him. I'll only have him at Limitless 1. So at Limitless 1, Gojo's gonna be doing 227,000 damage every 5.1 seconds. Yuta's gonna be doing 676,000 damage every 14 seconds. So right here, Yuta is currently better. I have SPA curses on. I have an SPA curse on Yuta. I think I have a damage curse on Gojo. So if you have an SPA curse on Yuta, which you should have if you have a Yuta, then Yuta will be better than Gojo outside of his domain. Once you're in Gojo's domain, Gojo is the better unit for sure. The only thing that will make Gojo better is if you get him to like Limitless 3 or above, I think. And once you get him to Limitless 3, I think he's going to be doing like around 300k, I think. And then so 300k in like, let's say 15 seconds, 300k every 5 seconds. In 15 seconds, he'll be doing 900k damage, and that will be more than Yuta. That will be way more than Yuta actually. He'll be doing 900k every 15 seconds, while Yuta's going to be doing like 600k every 15 seconds. Once you get him to Limitless 3. But Limitless 2, Limitless 1, or whatever, he's going to be worse than Yuta outside of the domain. So in 15 seconds, he's going to be doing about 680-ish. And then he's doing about 680-ish every 14 seconds. But then if you go, like I said, when you go into his domain, he gets 2 times damage. So Gojo, no matter what Limitless you have, will be better than Yuta inside of his domain. But his domain only lasts for like 8 seconds or 10 seconds or something like that. So that's where the comparisons really come from. Yuta is the best unit in the game if you do not have Limitless Gojo, like Limitless 3 or more Gojo. So that's basically what I'm trying to say, because this is what I thought before, but I didn't really have the proof because I didn't really see anybody else do it, or I didn't do it myself. Now that I actually have Gojo and Yuta or whatever, I can actually do the comparisons myself, and I can actually put it into a format and show you guys. Gojo is indeed better in his void form, but outside of his domain, Yuta is going to be better, and so he's at Limitless 3 or above, or maybe Limitless 4. I don't even know. So I think that's basically it. End game, you definitely want to have both of these. I would say you would definitely want to get both of these too. But if you have to choose on who is the better unit, I would say Gojo once you get him to Limitless 3. but because of how hard it is to even get there, I might just say Yuta, you know? Like, obviously, there's a bunch of different factors that go into like a unit being the better unit in a game, right? A lot of factors. If you're just going off strictly damage and DPS, Gojo is going to be the better unit. But if you're going like overall like accessibility, usability, and stuff like that, for one, Yuta is going to be better in the story modes because you get him to his cursed speech upgrade. You'll be able to clear story modes a lot faster than you will with Gojo probably. You'll be able to do the challenges easier. You'll be able to just do everything a lot easier. Sort of, because I think up to a certain point, let me calculate actually I can look at it right here. Up to a certain point, they're going to be, the upgrades are going to be about the same amount. Like up until Yuta's max curse speech upgrade, they're basically upgrading at about the same amount of yen, but Yuta's going to be doing basically, well, not double, but like he's gonna be doing like 40k more damage than Gojo, and they're gonna cost about the same up to that point. So Yuta will be better for literally everything else, other than if you get into a situation where you have to max out both of them, right? I hope I'm making sense. But yeah, for example, like infinite mode, if you have to max out both of them, then Gojo would be the better like choice to bring. If you had to choose between one of the two, I guess Gojo would be the better choice to bring. But it would just be better to bring both of them. But if for story mode and stuff like that, you'll mainly focus on Yuta just because he's like a better overall choice to pick. So now, just for funsies, we're gonna check out the maximum damage between all of them. We're gonna check out the maximum possible damage I can get. So we're gonna bust out the Erwin, and we're gonna bust out the Sakura, and we're gonna check out the numbers. So now with the 10% buff, Coyote is going to be doing 229,000 damage every 10 seconds. Bro, Coyote looks like such a baby. He looks like a little boy compared to these dudes, bro. Holy hell. But yeah, 229,000 damage every 10.5 seconds. Yuta is going to be doing 744,000 damage every 13.8 seconds. Then Gojo is going to be doing 250,000 damage every 5.1 seconds. In the Void, he's going to be doing 477,000 damage every 5.1 seconds. So now we're going to pop the Erwin buff. Let's check out Gojo first before the Void goes away. It was at like 534,000 damage every 5.1 seconds, something like that. I'm pretty sure 531,000. My Yuta is over 900,000, almost 1 million. 913,000 damage every 13.8 seconds, and then Coyote is going to be at 281,000 damage every 10.5 seconds. Bro, this Yuta is crazy. Bro, imagine that we're so close to having units doing 1 million damage. Say, for example, they put another buff unit or something in the game, bro. Say for example, they put another buff unit in the game. Just one more buff unit, you get like another 10% buff or something like that, bro. Like, Yuta will be doing basically 1 million damage. So at some point, they're gonna have to put a unit in here that's gonna pass this guy, right? Because a unit doing 1 million damage is crazy. There has to be a unit at some point soon, because they have to power creep the units. They always do that. They have to power creep the units at some point. There's going to be a unit soon that will be able to do 1 million damage. We're getting to that point already, bro. That is insane. But I think that's going to be it. I hope I sort of made sense at least half of the video, bro. Like I said, I'm not really Chuny, you know. I'm not Chuny. I'm not an old trademark. I'm not an explainer. I try to explain, but then I fail miserably most of the time. But I hope you guys made sense of it. And yeah. Let me know. Oh, let me know if y'all want to see a full unique team, boys. A video with a full unique team. I mean, I was gonna do that anyway, but just let me know what y'all think. I have 5 unique units, and then I have like a unique epic unit, but I'm gonna throw it in there anyway, just to say I got a full unique team just for the video, whatever. But let me know if y'all want to see that, and we can see how far we can go into an infinite mode or something like that, and we'll just see how OP unique really is, right? So yeah, we're gonna call it there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you boys in the next one. Peace.
Oh yeah, Maj. This the one right here.
What it do? Sauce up on you too. You know I'm dripping, baby, and you dripping too. I know you love me, baby, and I love you too. I know you love me, baby, and I love you too.